Alright, guys. We are here with an action-packed TvP that I actually managed to cast the last game of live last week, and I was like, oh my god, if this is indicative of what the rest of this series was, I have to cast it. And a lot of people said, it is, Pig. You should have seen the rest of this series. And I quickly went and grabbed those replays from the players, because this is played just this past weekly cup, weekly number 105, I think it was. And this was the North American Weekly EPT Cup between, of course, Team Liquid's Clem, a Terran player in the top left, who's going to be opening up with a very standard Barracks Gas. And his opponent in the bottom right side of the map, the Danish Wunderkind. That's right, he is very young, but he is climbing those ranks so quickly, and there are already people saying that he belongs in the tier with Cyril, with Raynor, with Clem. This is Maxpax. So those top three, it was top two players for quite a while. Thank you for the subs there. Thank you so much, guys. He really did belong in that. There was Cyril kind of created a tier of his own in 2018 when he dominated. But even by the end of that year, Raynor was already knocking on the door, right? We think about the Montreal finals against Raynor. And then, of course, the following year, 2019, Raynor established himself as an absolutely top tier competitor. And in 2020 started even, and maybe even the latter part of 2019 started kind of preying on Cyril. We saw Raynor start to get really good head-to-head records versus Cyril. So that was when we said, okay, so Cyril and Raynor are kind of this elite tier of player, which no one could really touch in Europe. And I remember there was a lot of people saying, hey, people were hyping up Clem at the same time they were hyping up Cyril and Raynor. And Clem was not at that level. And people were like, well, he's not going to make it. Terran's too hard. He's not as good. He's not as gifted as they are. But, of course, we saw in that part of 2020, oh my god, did Clem establish himself as a top tier player. Started beating both of those guys. There were periods in tournaments where Cyril and Raynor both looked helpless against him. And Clem established himself clearly as belonging in those top three players within Europe. Maxpax, of course, is kind of the next one, who people have been hyping up for a while. But remember that Maxpax is a bit younger than the other guys. I think he's still only about 17 years old. They're all hitting about 19, 20. Now Raynor and Cyril and Clem. Cyril's a little bit older than the other two, but only by about a year, I believe. And Adept's going to come in and take a fight. Clem would be happy to trade a Marine if he can kill the Adept. Nice micro. Doesn't want to actually lose the Marine. And does get some damage on it. And you know what? If you end up healing those with a medevac later, it doesn't cost you anything. Whereas those Adept hit points are never coming back. It can regen the shields. It can't regenerate the 36 hit points it lost. Now, keep in mind, though, Adepts are not really what you want later in the game anyway. So this is not the most important unit. Maxpax just looking for some damage. Man, Clem, all of his Marines are very fragile, but they got great damage output. Of course, you want to turn around so that you're not just abandoning this SCV to those Adepts. If you go too far on the chase, the Adepts can go and kill the SCV, run behind the minerals, and shade out before you get back there to kill them. As it is a Cyclone on the way for Clem. Clem is playing... That's interesting. Okay, so because he hasn't really scouted that much, I guess he doesn't know if it's Stargate, and because there's an Adept out. So a Cyclone's a very good flexible unit. It allows you to kind of fight against Stalkers and Adepts on the map, pick them off, and it's also fantastic if this was an Oracle or Phoenix opening from Maxpax, the Cyclone being a really good long-range flexible anti-air. Little does he know that this is indeed a Blink opening, though. Maxpax is going for that 4-gate Blink. Now, if this was parting, you'd go, oh, that's a kill blow. He's going to try and kill him. Maxpax, no. Maxpax is going to go to the other side of the map with a ton of Stalkers, but he is not going to show the same urgency of a parting. And, oh, that's a very good pick off for Clem. 2 Adepts go down there pretty much for free. He shows the Cyclone, but now he's thinking of going across the map. Now, if I was him, I might have actually just let those Marines heal up for a little bit. But you can see he wants to push over there and see what he's up against. Once he realizes there's no third base, I expect Clem to be very cautious, because he'll be aware, hey, if you don't have a third, you've got Stalkers out. That means Blink's kicking in about 15 seconds, and this is not an army you want to be fighting Blink Stalkers with. There's only 3 right now, but you get up to 7, 8 Blink Stalkers and things get nasty. And Clem, apparently assuming that Maxpax wouldn't take the front third, he sees this one, and he goes, nope, okay, just leave a Marine spotter there and get the heck out of Dodge. Go home right now. And he's got a Raven on the way, a tank, a second and a third barracks. So rather standard and conservative follow-up here for Clem. Just very, very much one-size-fits-all approach. And it shows the attitude that Clem has going up against Maxpax. He says, let's play safe, let's not cut corners. We've got the Raven in case it's a DT follow-up. We've got the tanks coming out. We're going to 3 barracks before 3rd command center. Let's not leave any openings. And that's kind of what you need to do, because I was kind of making a point there that Parting would be urgently trying to kill you with 4-gate blink and probably succeeding more often than not, especially if you've got a tank sitting out in the open. Maxpax tends to be a bit more cautious, a bit more slow and calculating, and generally speaking, he looks for the risk-free fights where possible. If he can get in, pick off some units, but then preserve his units, he'll prefer to do that. That tank looks so exposed, and it's going to go down. Does lose one Stalker so far. Buries another Stalker at the high ground. The Cyclone with a lock-on the top. Nicely done, but he just uses a blink to take that out, and Clem has massively screwed this up. That tank should never have been out there without even a building in front to guard it. He's trying to focus down the Prism. He does manage to get it. I don't think that matters. I'm actually a little disappointed in that blink, but you know what? No, that made sense because it's already ready again. And look at that. He's going to focus down a Marauder. Clem tried to pick up to dodge the shots, wasn't able to do it. This is devastating damage, and Clem is just going to tap out. An absolute bopping in game one. That is an absolute bopping. Clem really messing things up. Let's go back a little bit there and go, hey, wait a second. What the hell was this? I mean, obviously, like I said, the Cyclone's not fantastic in this scenario, but let's take a look at these barracks timings. One started at 4:10. The other barracks started at 4:20. These are not very quick barracks, but if you're building a Cyclone, you're building a Raven, that's not exactly unusual. The problem here, right, is that it feels like, yeah, I mean, he just doesn't really have any Marauder production. It's 5 minutes. There's no Marauders building just yet. He's going to put the 4 Marines in the bunker. And I think in this scenario, Clem should leave a spotter out front, an SCV or a Marine. So if he sees the Stalkers coming, he could pull SCVs to repair. But in this scenario, all your units should be in the front guarding the tank. And remember, Clem is normally so good with his building positioning, right, guys? So we would expect normally these other buildings to be placed about here. And even though, yeah, the tech lab's exposed, you put the tank nestled in behind it, it's very hard to kill. This tank, wide in the open, no units guarding it, and no buildings in front of it. This here is absolutely lazy from Clem. Now, there's players out there who would even put a bunker on the high ground just to reinforce. I don't think that's necessary. If he has all of these Marines, other than the 4 in the bunker, up front, he should be okay here. He sees the 3rd base just going down now. He knows his opponent's on 2 base. And this is really lazy play by Clem, who just was not appreciating the power of that 4-gate blink. I was saying Maxpax is more patient. He won't always go for the kill. And maybe that's allowed Clem to get a bit complacent here because just check it out, mate. Too many units way out of position there, I say, as I misclick on the time bar. Sorry about that, guys. Let's watch that one more time before we get into the next game. Really curious. Whenever a player just gets bopped like that, this is 5 minutes 28. 12 Stalkers. This is a pretty solid 4-gate blink timing. Often they hit with 8 Stalkers right on about 5 minutes. Obviously, this is one warp in later with an extra 4 Stalkers. But yeah, this is a little bit messy from Clem. Doesn't have any Marauders yet out of these 2 barracks. It's 5 minutes 30. And to not have a single Marauder out definitely speaks to those barracks being delayed. And it's why if you build a Cyclone, if you build a Raven, if you've only got 1 tank at this moment, you really better be careful. This is not a situation where you have 3 tanks or stim already finished or anything like that. Once you lose the tank, look at the way the Stalkers now have all the freedom in the world. They get the tank, they get the Raven, and then they can just walk away from the Marines. They can just pick up, dodge. The Marines do not have that big ranged firepower, that splash damage or anything like that. And even though those bunker Marines try to join in as well, and he does get the Prism, it's just a little bit too little too late. A very nice opening for Maxpax, and honestly, an easy game 1 victory against a very, I mean, it was very standard push timing from the 4-gate blink against a very standard build from Clem. Clem caught sleeping. All right, we've got a 1-0 advantage here. A real easy way to start the series, doing his most favored build, a build I was very critical of him for a while, because I said, hey guys, Maxpax does the same 4-gate blink opening every game. Maybe we should start countering it. So when I see people die like Clem just did, I gotta say, dude, gotta fix that shit. And honestly, his build order, I think, should have been fine. It's just about unit positioning. Be safer with that tank, further back with it, with the units in front of it. If those Stalkers are moving in past Marines, past a turret, to try and get at that tank, yeah, they can kill it, but they're going to lose a lot more Stalkers on that first round, and that really changes things. Anyway, Maxpax here in the top right, of course, of Glittering Ashes. He's going to go for the wall-off to stop this Reapers being able to jump in. We'll take 3 structures, but he'll commit to it. Does potentially give a push path later where the Terran comes in and like sieges tanks here and stuff. But Maxpax might just take this as his 3rd base anyway, in which case he's defending in front of that area, so it's not really a weak spot. Clem, of course, here representing Team Liquid in the bottom left, and does have that cute little I never know if it's a polar dog. I don't know. It makes me think of the Korra thing that she rides. Anyways, the probe is going to come on in. And does just see the standard opening. Now notice he hasn't seen the reactor. And often you don't want to try that ramp because there's a marine waiting on top of it. That's kind of the standard meta. I love a reactor first if you can get away with it, but I don't really enjoy it as much if they realize what you're doing. And I'm sure Clem here is going to be trying to get that command center down. Great blocking by Maxpax. Notice he's 480 minerals by the time that command center gets down. It's a good 6, 7, maybe even 8-second delay there, something like that. Real good delay. And Maxpax does drop his second gas behind it. Feels like that second gas maybe a little slow, but not too bad. And that adept should get chronoed in just a moment. Second pylon slightly late. He was microing his probe so hard that, yeah, his second pylon and gas were slightly late. We call that in the streamer world, chucking a pig. It's where you tunnel vision on something, you giggle, you get excited, you gloat a little bit because you're blocking your opponent's command center. And then you realize any damage you did is completely offset by the fact that you forgot your buildings behind it, or maybe didn't build probes. Maybe you've got 6 probes stacked on one gas guys or something like that. But rare to see Maxpax make an error like that. Now, I pointed out as an error. Keep in mind, this was not a giant thing. This was like a 2-second, maybe 1.5-second delay on the pylon in the second gas. Not a big deal. Very marginal, but these things can stack up. Twilight Council there, and a second adept gets chronoed as well. Now, keep in mind, Clem does like to sometimes do the double Reaper. Oh, watch out, Adept! She runs up to the ramp. 4 Marines greet her, but a quick response from Maxpax. Knows that he likes to do that. Knowing there's 4 Marines, should be able to realize that is a reactor first. And, oh, Clem might do the 6 Marine pressure, guys. Look at that. A quick swap over. It's an old school TY build. He loves this one. And, oh, doesn't quite have 100 minerals. There we go. So basically 6 Marines will end up hitting, and behind it you've got Hellions coming in. So the idea is if they pull probes to defend the Marines, those 2 Hellions can do damage, or you can just dart on in with them. But because this Adept did such a good job of tracking the army, seeing it, he's not really going to commit. Clem's going to realize, well, look, you know what I could be doing. You have to drop a shield battery, prepare with extra gateway units. You're going to do that. So he says, okay, now that it's been spotted, no point going for it. Unfortunately for Clem, guess what? He's going a Hellion drop. Cool. Guess what? That means he's going to have a handful of Marines and nothing else at home. He's got no production. How the heck is he going to deal with the most phallic of structures? That's right. We're talking about the big boy Dark Shrine Tower. The Dark Shrine coming on in here. It's going to be ready in 15 seconds. And he's even going to go for a gateway down there. Now, obviously, the first DTs will warp in before that gateway's ready. So they will be slow warp-ins. But either way, this is one of the builds that Clem's doing where it's like, I would always lose from here against what Maxpax is doing unless he's going to get warning. Okay, Clem's going to get warning of what's happening. Okay, so Clem, oh my god, does he see it? Oh my god, does he notice it? Dude, I can barely see them when they're warping. It's a real slight shimmer there. Engineering Bay needs to go down quick fast, mate. He sees a gateway, which of course is a sign of aggression. He does not realize there's DTs there. It's a disaster potentially for Clem. Oh no! Oh no, Clem! Clem only now realizing, but I think Maxpax kind of assumed he already knew. That's why he gave it away just then. Oh, Scan will catch that Dark Templar. It will of course go down. The other DT is going to run in, realizing these Marines in this tank shouldn't be able to pick him off. Just gonna wait a second. One more scan goes down. He's trying to get out of there. Siege tank says, no, dickhead, get out of here. That does take both of them out. Where the hell is the engineering bay? He's not even gonna bother with it. He just had enough patience that he was like, no, I've got 2 scans and a third coming in, and that will buy me time for the Raven. You see, that's it. I can never just calmly assess the situation and go, oh, I have enough scans. I'm always like, I don't fucking know if I have enough scans, bro. But I think because I would have been panicked expecting a prism to drop in. But if you know they've gone a proxy gateway, you know they're not going for the prism as well. So I think this just makes perfect sense for Clem, where he's actually taking into account what's going on. Now, you got to pull back there. He's going to lose like 4 or 5 Marines. Where's that Raven? Dude, get out of there. That's a lot of Marines you're losing. And he might just be able to get out of there. But okay, the DT does chase a little bit too long. Maxpax trying to repower this. Oh, you cheeky bastard. And Clem sees that, which means he should know that there's Stalkers coming across the map. There is some sort of follow-up attack. The Hellion will go past, and that could do big damage, though, to the worker line. Tank is sieged up here. He will finally get rid of the barracks. The Natural's wide open. Maxpax could dive in there, pick off a few guys. It's just, you know, you don't want this to be a one-way trip. Pick off SCVs and then leave, I think, is the way to go. Gets just 2 of them. Thinks about going for the bunker. That's very cute. Oh, he pops the Marine out, pops the Marauder in. Beautiful play there by Clem. And guess what? The Hellion, being a bit of a cheeky dickhead here, should be able to get at least 1 more probe. So that does slow down his opponent. These Adepts accidentally finish their shade. Bit of a mistake there from Maximus Paximus. The chaos getting to him. And you got to say, that is a problem because his army supply is now way down. But his economy does look great. He's up about 8. What was that? 6 plus 3, 9 workers. I'm good at numbers. He's going up to 8 gateways. The problem is, what's he got to anchor his army? He's just warped in 2 sentries. He doesn't have a lot of force field or Guardian Shield. You know, Guardian Shield energy stacked up. And the 3 barracks are, you know, Stim's done. Shields is about to be done. +1's halfway done. He's got Medevacs. He's got Stim Bio. Oh, Maxpax gets a Marauder. Very nice. Those Marauder pickoffs are very valuable. You got to remember the Stalkers do an extra 5 damage, 18 damage a shot to those Marauders. Marauders, once they're stimmed, remember Stim takes 20 hit points off them. They only have 105 hit points, which means 6 Stalker shots to take them down, I think. I don't know. I'm not actually good with numbers. 105 divided by 17. You guys do the numbers. I think 6 times 17 is enough there, but you guys can tell me if it's 6 or 7 Stalker shots. Stalker does go down, but he gets a Widow Mine, tries to pick off another Marine. He's not baiting the Stim out of Clem. Clem being very patient here. And Cannon Battery's going to finish. Oh, the Raven takes a bit of damage. Good blink backs from Maxpax. Gets one of the Widow Mines as well. Oh. He's going to have to battery overcharge. Quick fast, mate. Where's the... Does he not have energy? Okay, he gets the energy out. The cannon goes down pretty quickly. That siege tank real far back. Great conservative positioning from Clem. And he's just going to focus down this and keep fighting. He wants to get rid of those sentries, kill those Stalkers. Good force fields, though, keeping back some of those Marauders. And Clem does have to back off for now. Stalkers are going to go for a bit of a flanky flank. Very cute there from Maxpax. He's out of shield batteries. He's out of everything. Stalker's going to come in from behind. They're like, hey, where'd the tank go, mate? And it is going to get 1 shot off before it goes down. The Marauders would like to catch some of these very valuable Stalkers. Stalkers do not want to be going down like this. Ow. Ow. Widow Mine's landing as well. This feels like a disaster for Maxpax. Now he's setting up a forward gateway to counter attack. Remember, there's still only 2 orbitals, no 3rd on the way. This is basically an all-in for Clem. But the army supply is looking beyond incredible for him. I mean, is it an all-in? Yes. Is it working? Hells yes. There's so few units. Maxpax losing the Stalkers and Sentries means he doesn't have a lot of renewability here. He's sending a DT around the flank of the map. I'd like to see him keep trickling DTs into this army as well, even though Clem has got scan about to kick in. I feel like just continuing to make him scan maybe could have a lasting effect on wearing this down. The battery's up. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's going to allow him some space here. And look at that. Oh, I think Clem changed targets manually with the Widow Mines for a moment. He even unburrows and pulls back. We got a DT here. Maxpax is like, wait, you're on 2 base. No bloody way, mate. You were on... No, wait. Guys, by the way, we have an update on chat. 6 times 17 is 102, so it would be 7 Stalker shots, not 6 to kill a stimmed Marauder. Obviously, medevac healing can complicate things as well if they don't come out all at once. DT runs into the natural, gets quite a few SCVs, 4 or 5 there. Big fight on the front, though, is going to decide things potentially, so that's what we're going to keep our eyes on. Widow Mines do hit a few of those Zealots. DT ran into the main as well. Oh my, he's got Blink! He's got DT Blink, you cheeky bugger! Maxpax here, looking for the 2-0 advantage in this series, but remember, his army supply is so low at home, and it's the critical mass. It's the critical mass. There's too much Marine Marauder. He's got no splash damage. He's trying to hold on with DTs, but that mineral line, it's in trouble. Even without a scan, a DT is not going to kill this whole army that quickly, and he actually kills his own Marine there. DT tries to blink away, but blinks in the wrong direction, and does still get taken down. The 3rd base is gone, and Maxpax putting up a valiant defense, but I think he lost a few too many Stalkers in that first wave. Honestly, props to Clem for what felt like not that scary of a tank position, but I think Maxpax maybe attacked into it a little too hard when that attack first arrived. Maybe should have played the waiting game a bit longer, and now he doesn't have enough Stalkers to chase this down. There's no way. Look at that. Maxpax has to tap out. Good DT run bys, but remember, backstabbing the economy, not really that important. It was more important, I think, for him to be kind of hit the rally, hit the units, and wear the army down. It was all about that army supply, which just kept growing bigger and bigger, and Clem does tie up the series. A very close game, though. It's very stressful not having a 3rd command center to fall back on. But Clem manages to make it work there. GG, ties up the series. All right, guys, let's go. Down here in the bottom left side, the Red Protoss Psystorm Gaming's Maxpax. And pretty tight last game. I realize I'm really sorry, guys. As soon as I finished that game, I had someone in my Twitch chat point out to me, also the Hellion drop actually killed 7 Hellions while the DTs were happening, and that kind of evened it out. Even though the DTs, they didn't do a crazy amount of damage or anything, but the Hellions also killed 7 probes. Now keep in mind, there was a pretty well-timed third for Maxpax, but well done by Clem to not only, I was just oohing and ahhing at how well he handled those initial DTs, and in fact, the psychopath that he was out there dropping Hellions and microing them at the same time. 7 probes with the Hellion drop. I speak good words with my English mouth. So what can I say, guys? I am one of a kind. This is a pylon first scout. It's a very early probe scout. So he's going to want to get some damage on these SCVs. And then the trick here, guys, about a minute 20, minute 25, you want to withdraw, regenerate your shields, and then save all your shields and hit points to block that command center. About a minute 40 is when that command center wants to go down. Now, he just turned way too tight a circle there. So you can see the probe came in way too early there to get extra damage. Not really worth it. He's got to just pull out, and you've got to do a big circle. You don't want to cut too tight a corner, or he's going to be able to land his drill on you. Cybercore before Nexus behind this. Notice there is 3 on gas, so we're having a gas priority here from Maxpax. Definitely indicative of a Stargate opening, but we'll find out. And you see, notice he doesn't want to block it until a minute 40 because he knows Clem doesn't have 400 minerals until earliest a minute 39, but especially when he's already been pulling SCVs more like a minute 43. And this is why that's the point where he commits to the block. Only gets a few seconds blocking this time. Not as good as some of those previous games, but not the end of the world either. Now, he does go for... There we go. Goes for a 20. Oh, he actually built an extra probe. That's interesting. Yeah, once again, his pylon's late. Maxpax, what are we doing? 2 games in a row? I was like, did he just build that pylon on 21, 22, like on 22 supply? Because I think he went 22 pylon and 22, almost 23 second gas as well. So a little sloppy, and because of that, his adepts are getting across the map a little later than they otherwise could, and any chance of maybe catching Clem a little sloppy with his opening and killing a Marine or something, I mean, that's definitely going to disappear. I mean, it's a big map, so that was unlikely either way. And it is indeed just going to be a Twilight Council, so getting a little bit of extra gas early, slightly less minerals, doesn't actually indicate Stargate with Maxpax. Apparently, that's just the pattern he prefers. Probably what he does every game, I would imagine, and gives him a nice standard opening that's unreadable based off the early scout. Second gas goes down after the factory for Clem, and I'm thinking he goes back to Cyclone here. Clem loves those Cyclone openings recently. It's a very expensive unit. Maybe Widowmine? Let's see what he does with this. It's a very expensive unit, the Cyclone, but it's just so flexible that the guys who kind of think they're better and they're really strong macro players do prefer it. And actually, no, it's just a Hellion, but a big delay on starting it. You notice he's prioritizing the Orbital Command Center, the SCV production. So trying to focus more on the macro, and you're always a little starved for minerals in this early game if you opt for the bunker, and you're also building Marines pretty much non-stop. I mean, that combination, it's a lot of minerals going into that. So Clem, just focusing on those basics. If he does go for a medevac, could be a 3 Hellion drop, or alternatively, it could be a Marine drop, but we'll keep our eyes on what he goes for. Medevac does start up. Adept here, still scouting, and will confirm there is no factory on that reactor, and actually he gets inside. Oh, he does not see the Hellion. The Hellion hides. The Hellion manages to run to the right side and does manage to hide there. So nice hiding. Guys, this is 3-gate blink. So third Nexus goes down after that third. It's still a very quick third, but he has the 3 gateways as well. It's a curious version of the build. Does have to cut probes here for a second on 38 as he's supply blocked, but the pylon kicks in. Does pop him out of that. I do like 3-gate blink. It is a pretty damn good number of units you can get out off that. And if you can get, say, like 7 Stalkers, that'd be great. But look at this Hellion path. This is a secretive Hellion drop, guys. This is not a fast Hellion drop. This is I'm going to come in at a very late timing. A very late timing and NA timing, some would say. It's, you know, too late for a Hellion drop. So normally, if you want to think about it, guys, if people delay their expansion, you want to be looking from about, depending, if they've proxied, maybe as early as 345, 350, they could be dropping you. But otherwise, it'd be about 410, right? 415, they could start dropping you. If they're just doing a standard expand and that Hellion drop came straight across the map, about 435 is when they could be unloading Hellions, Widow Mines, that sort of stuff. In this case, when's he hitting? He's not even continuing across the map. It's 5 minutes and he's just waiting. So this is I'm just going to hide this. You're going to assume there's nothing coming. As we see, Maxpax says, hey, it's 5 minutes. It's way too late for any sort of Widow Mine or Hellion Drop to be coming. He moves out, and that could open up the chance for big damage. Now, he's got good pylon spotters, so Maxpax, he does almost have energy for recall as well. He could handle this pretty well if he reacts quickly, but that is a big if as charge does start up. The Marine Scout does go down. Hellion Drop's going to go in. And there we go, guys. 3 Hellions in the main. Quick recall, snap recall, very fast on that. And a few probes do decide to try and fight off these Hellions. He's going to focus the medevac down. 9 shots to kill a medevac with Stalkers. And it does fall 6, 7 probes. He's going to get number 8 there. And there goes that Hellion flying off into oblivion. Holy crap, pieces of that floating up. That's a tire. 8 probes for a Hellion drop. Is that worth it? Yeah. It's not the worst, you know, pretty even in terms of units lost. Obviously, killing probes is not bad. The Hellions weren't going to be great later. You got to also take into account the fact that it forced the Stalkers to recall, right? So the Stalkers would have been pressuring otherwise. Now he's got more time to get this tank out, to get the bio, his stim shields. These upgrades are all going to be kicking in soon. Suddenly, Stalker pressure isn't really a key feature of the game. It's more just a Stalker contain, right? Maxpax, when Clem moves out, will try to pick off some Marines and Marauders. He'll do that kind of fighting retreat and blinking back and seeing exactly what goes on. Damages the bunker and gets 1 Marine, damages another one. Nothing too impactful there. This Observer does see a lot, though. So I think I really would like to see Clem get rid of that bad boy, of course. You guys know I'm a big hater of these dirty little invisible perverts just sitting above the base. I actually think Zest is way sneakier than Maxpax. He would always stick it here and set it up on pervert mode, so he'd almost always see the move out and see the most important things, but the Terran would almost never see it. So if you guys want to study up really dirty observer positions, go check out some Zest replays, some Zest casts. He's got, especially on this map, very, very good observer placement. Push is coming, it's pretty scary, but that's a lot of Zealots and Mortals coming in. Templar Archives almost finished, and the counter Zealot drop. Maxpax loves the counter Zealot drop, but remember, look at the way Clem's designed his base. It's very choked, so he can always pull back to choke points. This is not good micro by Clem because he is fighting Stalkers on the front. Looks like he got some picked off by the Stalkers. Look out for the force field, Clem. Look out for the force field. Okay, so a few of his units do get caught there, and you don't want to keep shoving through that, I don't think. Good pullback on the Zealots. The Immortal Sentry is going to do good. Clem picks up and saves a few of them. The tank sieges, that does force Maxpax back. Maxpax is still in the mineral line. 10 SCVs go down, and he kills a few units. Look at the units lost tab there. It's going in Maxpax's favor now. Some fantastic usage. Remember, though, no Forge. He's got 8 gateways. He's got a Templar Archives. He'll be able to spend his gas on Archons, but otherwise, he's got to kind of shut this push down in the near future. He can't let this drag on for too much longer. He's going to try and get rid of that siege tank, but the force fields are actually kind of blocking his own units. The Stalkers are going to blink forward and get blasted. Gosh, that's expensive. He will get rid of the Widow Mines and so on. At the same time, Zealot drop goes in. Uh-oh, Viking finds the Prism. Zealots get only 2 more SCVs. Not the best focus fire. Prism goes down. On the other side, the tank and the Widow Mines get cleaned up, but at the end of that, I've got to worry a little bit about, well, I don't know, enough SCVs got killed by Maxpax. I was going to say I've got to worry about Maxpax because his tech sucks, but yeah, he's starting Storm. He's starting the 2 gases. This Raven has only got 1 kill so far. It will drop another auto turret. It's going to get another couple of kills. Okay, so, oh, that's nice. Bit of a slow response there. So 4 kills in total on the Raven, and it can, of course, sit back here all day long, but he is putting down a shield battery in both bases. So the trick here for Maxpax is you could leave a Stalker on the edge, or you could basically say, yeah, he's going to have to drop 2 auto turrets, focus the shield battery down, and only then will he start being able to kill probes. That's fine. I can just warp in reactively, and it looks like that's what Maxpax will go for. His Storm is not done for another 20 seconds. It's actually a very cute move-out timing. He's got loaded up in the Prism. He starts unloading, and he realizes, oh shit, Storm's not finished, bro. The Prism takes a lot of damage there. A High Templar dies out in the open. Force field and run. Force field and run, bro. You cannot lose these sentries and Immortals. Another sentry goes down. A bit of a mistake there for Maxpax. Zealots, though, finding that exposed mineral line. Oh, not the best pathing. Bit of a misclick there. You could tell he did that one on the minimap as it wasn't very accurate. And another Immortal dies. We see chunks of an Immortal die there. Great catch by Clem. Catches that on the retreat. The Zealots come in. They only get 3 SCVs. Now, it's not that big a squad of bio, so the Widow Mines will have to be used, but nice micro by Clem to avoid any friendly fire. Stalker's going to go down there as well. Good just threatening over here. Good zone control. And he sees the Observer. Very good. Guess what, guys? No observers on this map. Immediately, an observer powers up. Robobay goes down for Maxpax, who realizes this game is going long. He also spots with the Marine. Mass Zealots going down the left. And that means as Clem, you want to gather up a big blob of units and then go hunt those bastards down. If you can intercept the Zealots and get right on top of him with a big stim ball, that'll be really good. His army's actually smaller than the Zealots, though. He's got to be careful. He'll need to micro this really well to make sure he handles those units. Oh, another Immortal in the open. Oh, no. That Immortal goes down. Clem just fades away. Zealots do take some pretty big Widowmine hits, and it is enough bio to chase them away. Good hold on the top by Clem, and he snipes an Immortal on the bottom. He's winning all these small skirmishes. Clem is kind of out multitasking Maxpax, but he stayed a bit too long, got a bit too cocky, and finally we're going to see... Wow. I really thought Maxpax was going to focus the Medivacs with the Stalkers, but his Storm was a bit too slow, a bit too far behind, and overall, a little bit of a disjointed play from Maxpax. Doesn't even get that Medivac. I mean, Clem is getting away with murder right now. I guess he doesn't have a 4th command center up. Doesn't have an armory. Doesn't have a 2nd engineering bay. He's kind of stuck on 1-1 upgrades. You know what, though? The first upgrade hasn't even finished for Maxpax. As, oh, looks like Shield Battery did get focused down and 1 more probe kill. Raven's up. Actually, no, the Shield Battery is a kill. So he just did a double auto turret to kill the Shield Battery. He got nothing else from that. This is what I'm talking about, guys. You replace the Shield Battery and it really shuts the Raven down very effectively. So very nice play there by Maxpax. As long as you got those, you'll be good. 2nd engineering bay, armory, 4th command center. These are the pieces that tell us Clem is happy to go to the later stages of this game. He wants to set up for that stage. And when the Terran's doing that, even earlier than the Protoss dropping their 4th Nexus, we best describe this scenario as being stuck in Dicktown for Maxpax, because he's down 30 army supply. Yes, he's got Colossus. Well, he's got a Colossus, a single Colossus. He's got a lot of Storm. He's trying to make some Archons, but there's so much EMP in here. His army could crumble. Maxpax needs good Storms, but he's only got a red hit point Prism, and it got clicked. He EMP'd the Prism, and he clicked it, and those Ghosts with their 6 range just blasted it out of the sky. And with the High Templar gone, with the Storm gone, the rest of the army just crumbles. That's going to be game. A just stunning destruction of the real, I mean, the centralization of power there. It was all in that Warp Prism. That Warp Prism was the one thing stopping Clem's advance. The moment that's gone, you lose all your High Templar. 1 Colossus is not going to stop him stimming on your face. Still had an upgrade advantage, and Clem takes the 2-1 lead. All right, over in the top right, guys, Maxpax, the red Protoss player. Getting overwhelmed there. I actually think his setup was pretty good in the early stage, but this man down here just started picking off sentries, picking off immortals, and kind of catching him out of position a few too many times in those drops. Able to kind of hold forward position on the Protoss side of the map without really ever getting punished. So, you know, if the Terran's able to exert pressure like that, they start finding just value pickups all over the shop, and at no point was Clem kind of forced to panic micro, and because of that, he was able to calmly clean up all the Zealot run-bys. And other than the first Zealot drop, wasn't really taking any big damage. So Clem down here in the bottom left, a Hardwire, wants to continue this theme. Get in the Protoss's face, don't get punished, win the game with some nice multitasking. This probe's already taken a lot of damage, and this is the downside of trying to harass with a Gateway Scout, guys, is right around the time you lose all your shields is when that command set is about to go down, and you notice that SCV, oh, actually good micro by Maxpax. So he does delay it for like a second or two here. And, whoa, doesn't want to lose the probe. Does lose the probe. Delays the command center by a few seconds though. Clem getting a bit aroused, trying kill the SCV, kill the probe. His SCV does scout as well, so playing kind of safe here versus Maxpax. Doesn't want to be too greedy, skipping scouts against the very unpredictable at times Maxpax. I would say recently he's been a little more predictable. He's been loving those Twilight Council openings. Don't see a lot of Phoenix play from him. Don't see a lot of Oracle openings. It's mostly Twilight Blink, and I haven't seen a lot of 2-gate Robo either. Mostly it's 3-gate into Quick Third or 4-gate. So we'll see what he does. This looks like a Twilight Council, as he has 100 gas only. And Robo First, not really something that happens at the pro level. Robo First is a fantastic play if you're not playing pro gamers, because you can get observers out really early and just see everything that happens. That way there's no surprises, and even though they could do things like a Widowmine drop, well, you can have observers around your base and move your Stalkers and respond. You don't need Blink, you don't need Phoenix. But the problem is the lack of Blink or Phoenix means that Medivacs can just kind of dance around you all day. So opening up with Robo First, a very unpopular at high level. It's really something that is most used to try and counter like a 3-racks where you say go Colossus drop, and because they don't have an early factory or starport, they can't really do anything about a speed prism. Colossus drop, maybe a disruptor drop, something like that. So it's usually only done in that regard. You go back a few years early, Legacy, people were doing just build observers, go-to base Colossus. You'll occasionally see a pro gamer try it out, maybe like a creator style player who really likes turtling up. But there's a certain point where even though it's good if you can force a fight, you just don't have that mobility to force the fight. And you often have to make a hard decision between, do I add Blink for mobility or do I add Charge to actually improve my army strength? Adept's going to get on in there. If he gets the starport on, the SCV on the barracks, that would be huge. And that SCV does go down. Adept is going to dance around, but it will fall here. I mean, he gets a full scout. Now, what does he see, guys? Notice there's no starport. I was like, oh yeah, he's going to kill the SCV building that. That's 3 barracks and a factory. This could turn into a very scary push because these barracks are simply up faster than earlier. Now, on the other hand, it does mean right now, this 4-minute to 5-minute period where Hellion drops, Widowmine drops often come in, Maxpax has no fear at all. Because he knows there's no starport. You can't do a Liberator, a Raven, a drop. You can't do anything like that. And this is really cool because Maxpax is like, be greedy AF right now, take a third, get me upgrades, get me tech. But 2 or 3 minutes from now, holy shit, there's going to be a scary Terran army out. And that's what I've got to worry about. Now, the question is, does Clem go all in after having this scouted and just do nothing but Marine, Marauder, tank, and go, go, go? The answer is no. He's going to build a factory, reactor, starport, so he'll start medevac production. He's already got an engineering bay. He's just waiting. Of course, he's a bit distracted before he starts the +1. Good pickoffs here by Maxpax. Oh my god, Value Town. 2 SCVs and 5 Marines have gone down. I believe one of those Marines was the one spotting up at this base. And these Stalkers, yeah, 1 kill on him, killed that. But still 4 Marines, 2 SCVs for nothing there. That's awesome. And look at that, the tank repositions. Maxpax says, no, 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 you gotta have a tank siege, otherwise I'll dance in and out all day. Get some Marine on the way out as well. And you see, guys, know your numbers, study your numbers. 4 Stalkers, 1 shot's a Marine, 1 shot's an SCV. That's the magic count. Does pull back now, loses a bit. Quite a bit of hit points there. Engineering base still has not started the upgrade. This Stalker distraction paying dividends right now. Not only doing direct damage, but also indirect damage, even when you're playing one of the best Terrans in the world. Does get a little bit distracted and says, hey, I'm under pressure. Let's focus on other things rather than queuing up an upgrade, which he's still, to this point, forgotten. Going up to 8 gateways is the Protoss player Maxpax, and Maxpax, notice this time, similar setup to last game, but he's actually got the Forge. Remember that Forge was so late on 2,000 atmospheres, and this time he's actually a little ahead on the upgrades as the +1 does now finally start up.
Thanks for the Bezos
Clem.
box.
Thank you very much for the love, guys. Give you guys some proper shout-outs and props in between the games. Big thanks to those watching live as well as on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube later after the fact, guys, check out the Patreon. Links in the description below. We always try to give you guys the best content where possible. So if you want to support it beyond your... beyond turning your ad blocker off, maybe whitelisting it for YouTube or for my page on YouTube, you can check out the Patreon down there. But double drop on the left side of the map. That did get spotted. Yeah, he spotted it. Okay, he's going to bring his Stalkers home. Get out of there, Clem. Clem, he saw the prism and he saw the other unit as well, didn't he? To continue to commit here is a very bad move for Clem. Clem not paying attention. What? Whoa, buddy. He was not aware of his minimap there. Uncharacteristic. I thought it would be more likely for Maxpax to miss that on the minimap rather than Clem, but Clem loses a bunch of units there. There is now a Zealot drop that's going to hit the main. He's trying to build a 3rd on location. Clem's army just moves out at exactly the wrong time, and oh my god, this is why, guys, if I had to play a TvP versus Maxpax, I would always have a Viking waiting up here, because this Prism is his trademark move that he does so much. He always seems to find a way to go in right when the opponent's not ready. Now, that's a lot of bio there, yet he's still getting a lot of SCV kills. I'm amazed that he's continuing to commit there. I think Clem maybe could have pulled the SCVs away a bit sooner, but he loses the tank. Not too bad. Prism tries to come in. The bio stims at it. Does not manage to get the kill. Units lost tab. Keep an eye on that. It's not that much in the favor of the Protoss. Obviously, his economy's way ahead. Oh, we'd love to scoop these units with some force fields. Great scoop there. Gets a few Marines and Marauders. Widowmine gets a kill, and the red hit point medevac saves some units. Clem with some very dangerous micro as, Widowmine's going to stop that big Zealot Warp in there. He'd love to kill that 3rd base. If he can kill that, which he really should. I mean, he's got an Immortal shooting it. It's dead. Yeah, Immortal kills that easy. But, he loses the Immortal on the way out. Might lose a few other units as well. That Sentry looking like a juicy target, yeah. When a Terran sees a Sentry running away, they always give chase. So Maxpax loses a lot of units, and Clem realizes after losing his third, he needs to do counter damage. Those units get recalled to the third. Maxpax may be aware that this is a threat, but he's not moving to a central location. He should be moving his army out here in between. He's putting some Zealot spotters on the right side. They should see the drop coming, but it's going to boost right on in there. Stalker's just moved out to the middle, and that means his main is wide open. No shield battery in the main. 2 pylons powering the vast majority of his production. I don't think this is enough to be a kill move, but it definitely could trade out well. Getting probes, getting Zealots. Widowmine does shoot down his red hit point medevac. Well, that's kind of good for him. At least he won't load into a red hit point medevac. Picks off a few units and does save the majority of that army. At the same time, Widowmine drop coming through. Guys, whenever you're behind, whenever a Protoss is swinging at you and doing big damage, how do you get back in the game? People say, what's the Terran comeback mechanic, Pig? That's the Terran comeback mechanic. Widowmine drop like you've never Widowmine dropped before, friends. That's what you do when a Protoss is giving you trouble, because it's always got the potential to catch them off guard, especially if they're focusing on their run-bys. That being said, these run-bys are getting good damage, and finally that gets cleaned up. 7 more SCVs go down. The Prism. This is a new Prism. Flew into the main. It flew into the same Widowmines that were still there from before. I think Maxpax thought Clem would move those, but now this Prism is deep in the red, so he's going to have to pull that one home, I believe, as he makes a transition into the Colossus. 11 probe advantage for the Protoss player. Viagra upgrade starting on up. He's got, of course, the probe spotter does see this army. So no Colossus out just yet. Upgrades, he's going +2 attack. Remember, Maxpax follows in the Korean school of thought, kill before I get killed. Armors for pussies. Instead, always upgrade my lasers and my swords instead. I really disagree with this. I'm much more of in the Showtime school of thought, but Maxpax results speak for themselves. Marauders and Marines doing very well, trying to do what they can. Coming on forward, he goes for the Immortal, gets it down before the battery overcharge could do anything. No, the Colossus as well. Battery overcharge is normally something that Terrans complain about, but when you have a critical mass of Marine Marauder, they just kill your shit so fast, it doesn't even get a chance to heal. On the other side of the map, the Zealot attack did get cleaned up at that third base. These Marauders, if they get hunted down, that's bad. Maxpax, I think he can chase it. These Marauders are very damaged, guys. There's only like 3 damaged Marauders left under there. Maxpax may be a little too cautious on the chase. He just lost a lot of power units. Clem here keeping himself in this game and maybe even getting a lead here after getting an Immortal, a Colossus, even catching some Stalkers there. Keeps the vast majority of his medevacs alive. The economy is so close. The upgrades, he's only a little bit behind in the upgrades, right? +2 versus +1, but he's about to have +1 armor. And thankfully, Maxpax does start the armor upgrade. Now, a lot of people say, why wouldn't you start +3 attack? Colossus Stalkers, it's all about the damage output, isn't it? The difference is +1 armor takes way less time and is far cheaper than going for the third attack upgrade. And that is why I think it's always good to mix and match a little bit. You're still going to have Zealots tanking up front. You're still going to have Sentries and Stalkers taking half of their hit points or so on their hit points rather than the shields. So, you know, I still think it's absolutely worth doing it. Of course, Zealots are 2/3 hit points, only 1/3 shield, so especially important for a Zealot-heavy comp, which he's not really on right now, but rather than +3, going to go for that very quick, cheap, accessible +1. Very nice. Gets a Widowmine there. That does... Oh, goes for the other one. That gives away that there's an Observer here. Guys, if the Stalkers ever come in and shoot your Widowmines like that, you know they've got a detector that was probably already there. So dropping a scan, a good idea. Clem not going to do it this time. And he leaves the Pervy Boy just floating and having a bit of a cheeky throb above his infrastructure. And that's definitely something that can turn these games. We've talked a lot about how PvT, it really hinges on vision and where the units position themselves and how the fights are picked. And observers that go unnoticed can really turn things in Protoss' favor. These Colossus can chase this army down right now. I'm trying to micro back. He's got something on the left side. It's yet another Widowmine drop, and he doesn't feel confident fighting army to army until his Viking count grows. He's only got 5 versus 3 Colossus, but going for these Widowmine drops, just a single kill on that one. And that Widowmine, he just burrows there. He says, well, he's got Stalkers. Maybe I can, you know, force an Observer over here or something like that. Doesn't have an armory yet, so easy cleanups on these. And that's why if your opponent's like really low tech, if you ever play someone playing like Mass Zealot, where you think they might have even skipped the Robo, you actually just add this armory in way earlier, simply to go, I don't think you have a lot of detection. And then you're going to force cannons in each base. If there's a cannon there, you can still burrow a Widowmine down here, out of range, that sort of thing. So you can be very tricky to punish those guys. Of course, Maxpax did go Robo War game. He's got one Observer out. He's got Disruptors coming out, and he's got a good army up front. Oh, this is a really scary angle. I mean, Clem has a good arc, but the way Maxpax pulls into the choke point, that is scary to chase into that. He's going to chase into it. Can he get a Colossus? 1 Colossus falls to the Vikings. Great chase so far by Clem. And Maxpax just has to get out of there. Does not really find what he was looking for. Clem's so good at taking those frontal fights. That observer still seeing so much. That's part of why he felt confident moving down there. Maxpax is going to go +2 armor before +3 attack. He's making me so happy right now. 8 Marine drop on the left side, and the Zealots are going to spot each other. Not sure if the players have noticed it just yet. 4 base versus 4 base right now. Clem is looking pretty powerful. That's it. Being said, this army is really small. He sees that big army. Now, he should, this is not a good fight for Clem. Where's his army at? I mean, he's got 8 Marines there. Where's the rest of his units? He's got Widow Mines in his main. I don't know. He's got Rally. He's got a lot of Widow Mines peppered around the map and an 8 Marine drop on the left side. I think he's got to be very careful about fighting that army. I think what he wants to do right now is kite the units down and just kind of engage the Zealots, maybe pick off a Colossus, dance away. He's obviously really relying on good EMPs to scare this army away. And he does have a good 12 Marauders in here, 15 Marines and 6 Ghosts. But an 8 Vikings is definitely going to wreck the Colossus. It's just those Disruptors could cause him to spend more time dodging than anything else. Now, he's going to go really deep here. Very brave from Clem. So he's going to corner himself in the top left of the map, threaten this mineral line. He wants to kind of get the Colossus coming around an angle. That's what he's really looking for. But, okay, he's got some more Marine Marauder coming forward. He's got a lot more Marines and Ghosts still at home, though. He's spreading his army out. So Clem, okay, at this point, he's trying to bait Maxpax out into the open, and then he just wants to kind of fall on it, right? He wants to fall in on that army from multiple angles and cause a ruckus. But the DTs are going to go down that right side. Widow Mine, Planetary Turret, he's well prepared. That command center, though, is an easy pickoff. Uh-oh, army. Whoa! Oh, Disruptor gets a couple of Ghosts. Another Ghost goes down there. So some good pickoffs there while the DTs did kill/cancel that command center. Not sure if it went down or not. We can always bring up our units lost. It doesn't show up there, which means it was canceled. So good reactions by Clem. Now, right now, 9 Vikings. There's 8 Disruptors, though. He's got no siege units. I mean, the Colossus are not a threat. It's just Stalkers, Zealots, Disruptor versus Marine Marauder Ghost. He needs to EMP everything, and he needs to spread and come from multiple angles. Clem cannot fight this from one side. He needs to split this army up there, down here, and down here. But he's way too clumped. He's got to get around this. He needs to create a wider surface area, or his units are going to be naturally too clumped. There's 8 Disruptors in there. I don't think he realizes the Disruptor count. Oh, big army on the top comes in. He's going to come in for the Disruptors. The SCV's on the south side as well, but a big Disruptor breaks his southern flank, and these Disruptors, look at the way Maxpax is falling back. He's still got a Disruptor shot in the back. He's been so patient. He's not throwing all his balls out at once. And I think this is because Clem only really came in from one angle. He needed a flank here. Oh, he's getting the Disruptors before the shots connect, but that one does blow up his army, and Clem is unable to take out those balls before they explode. Maxpax able to seal the deal there, and Clem, a pretty good spread, but I think Maxpax, the way he did a tactical fighting withdrawal there and baited Clem into multiple shots, just beautifully done by Maxpax. Clem needed to do a sandwich to shut down that many Disruptors. We're going to the final map. Heck yeah. All right, it's all going to come down to this moment. Game 5 to decide it all. Maxpax in the bottom left side is going to go out, and you can see he's scouting. Kind of checking if there's any proxy barracks. His opponent, Clem, going for a pretty standard opening so far at a really good point. You guys will remember, even though Maxpax won that game, he lost a Colossus and an Immortal at his 3rd base, which was crazy to see. Just a bio army stimming in and focusing that down. Uncle Toby in my Twitch chat has pointed out, now what was actually happening there is there was 2 shield batteries, and the one that wasn't overcharged was healing the Colossus. And you can't have 2 shield batteries healing a unit at once. So they actually managed to shoot through a single shield battery, but I believe an overcharged battery heals at 3 times the rate of a regular shield. Is it double or 3 times, chat? Let me know. I know it's faster. I think it's triple, but it might be double. Either way, it's a lot faster. So maybe if the battery overcharged shield battery was healing the Colossus, it may have been able to survive that. Probe does go down there, and of course a reactor starts right after that dies. Command center for the expand, and Clem comes in, sees the Nexus. We're gonna have a pretty standard situation to start things off. No one wants to take the big gamble here. Big thanks, TH10 for the 2-month resub as well. Much love, mate. I remember doing the maths on the shield battery and realizing that it came to, I think it was 900 or 1200 shields that it heals if it's able to heal its whole duration, start to finish, at kind of maximum efficiency, which is, I remember it being like 3 or 4 Archons worth, basically. I think 3 Archons worth. So pretty sick if it's able to heal over those, I think, 11 seconds, but of course, does rely on it healing the right things, and sometimes even just quickly changing targets. You can kind of catch the shield battery with the overcharge healing one unit, then it's got to quickly change to the other unit, but if you kill it before it can change targets, you know, there is slight delays with any spell getting cast, anything doing anything in StarCraft. So if you got like a ton of Marine Marauder that shoots really fast, sometimes just quickly changing targets kind of messes things up there. Like you start it healing the random Stalker you've clicked on first, and then you click the Colossus, and you can kind of like maybe kill it before it gets healed much. And according to Wikipedia, overcharge doubles the healing rate. So thank you very much, Twitch chat, for looking that one up. So it's double the healing rate, but because it's for a full, I think 11 seconds or something like that. Basically, the way it works is it basically it heals without actually expending energy for its entire duration, and so it actually lasts for something like 50% longer than what a normal shield battery would be able to do before running out of energy, something like that, which is why it ends up being, rather than the 300 shields that a normal shield battery can heal, it ends up being 900, I believe, if memory serves. So somewhere about there, but enough random trivia tidbits on that. The Adept still scouting. Got, it looks like Factory Tech Lab and the Raven coming out of the Tech Lab starport. And second barracks goes down 3 minutes 55. And he wants to go for the Cyclone or the tank. Show us what you got, Clem. It's going to be a tank. Once again, guys, we are seeing 4-gate blink from Maxpax. And this is interesting because I feel like Maxpax, I mean, he's seen a lot of Marines, and I think maybe he's just a little worried about that. He's going to move up, though, make it look like he wants to go for the third. Oh, I like this. The Stalker's there. He's got a pylon. He's got a probe. But I don't think he's committing to that. I think he's going pretty hard on the 4-gate blink here. I think Maxpax is going to go pedal to the metal. Now, remember, this gave him the easiest win of his life in game 1. I almost wish the Stalker wasn't there. So he let the Marine come a bit deeper, see the probe, see the pylon, and then kill it, you know? So just to sell the story a little more. Now, of course, Clem here looking to surprise Maxpax from the angle. Unable to do it. This is pretty much non-stop Marine production right now. The Raven will continue into the base. He's going to say, okay, it's 3 racks, it's tank, it's Raven. This is real, just standard play. And not going to focus fire that weak SCV. Maxpax just focusing on other things right now, like the Warp Prism and the Stalker's moving out. He's got a 4th gas already, and he's still probing a little bit. He's got to build another pylon right now if he wants to do another Warp in after this, and he knows his business. He does it. Guys, that is 11 Stalkers. It's just past 5 minutes, but Clem, he died in game 1 this time. He's got quite a few Marines on the low ground. They should still be up here, but the tank is nowhere near as exposed this time around, and he blinks in, and oh, that's not good. Oh, he takes maximum splash damage on 2 shots. The 3rd shot comes in. And a Widow Mine! There is a Widow Mine over there hidden behind the refinery. I didn't even see that. Look how bruised his Stalkers are. And how do you get in range of that tank? You just can't. I mean, I think focusing the starport's the best bet right now. That starport is in the open. Go for it, Maxpax. Go for it, dude. That starport is an easy target. You're committed. You have to take that starport out and drop a Nexus right now because you know you're not killing him with this. Now, he actually hides in a corner. He shows the retreat and then unloads in the corner. The SCV does find it, which is cute. The Widow Mine has maneuvered. Is he going for a Widow Mine drop? No, he's got a Raven Harass moving out there. And uh-oh. Okay, this is going to be really... Okay, the Stalker's coming forward, but dude, look at that blink. He's just getting hammered by the bio. He's trying to use the Prism to pull those units back. He gets the tank, but he's already lost 4 or 5 Stalkers. More going down to the Marine Marauder. The SCVs are going to come in and tank damage on the rear. In the rear with the gear. Their drills being brandished. Big oiled up fucking drills there from those boys. And meanwhile, oh, Raven does kind of derp in a little bit. Looks like Clem may have F2'd that home, but a good shift click on the probes gets a couple of them there. And he should be able to go hide in that dead space. He's got to actually micro it though. And that Raven is going to get quite a few kills as the dust settles, guys. Oh, stop! Clem, stop F2ing, bro. Okay, he does send it in for 1 more auto turret. And the Raven does get 7 kills. Make it 8. 9? 8 kills. A couple more SCVs going down. Stalker's back in the main base. Good focus fire by Maxpax. He's multitasking out of his mind to try and even things out after this damage did not go his way, but at the end of it, I don't think that's good for Protoss. He's worse in units lost. Yes, he's killed a few more workers, but his 3rd, it's not even halfway finished. And you've got so much tech for the Terran. A lot of people look at this and go, but Terran doesn't have a command center, Pig. There's no 3rd. Who needs a command center? He's got stim shields +1, 8 marauders, 16 marines, a Manavac, a raven. So you've got this Terran army that's kind of built up to this super powerful point where it's got all the mid-game pieces it needs. Meanwhile, what's Protoss got? Desperation, Storm, and Charge starting up now, but he doesn't even have a third mineral line going. If you wanted to be comfortable in this scenario as a Protoss player, you'd want a full third mineral line, and you'd want hopefully a Forge upgrading, as well as starting some splash damage like Storm or Colossus. He doesn't have that. And he doesn't have any sentries. He doesn't have any basic kind of tier 1 spellcaster utility. His observer gets scanned. Clem is in control of this game. There isn't going to be that vision advantage this time either, which Maxpax so often finds himself with. Third command center starts behind this, but there is a fearsome push coming across the map. And a Viking there for Clem. He's learned his lesson. He knows what Maxpax likes to do. Maxpax not actually going to afford the Prism Zealot drop this game. He's going to be focusing probably on just Storm dropping. And indeed, he has 2 High Templar in there. Storm will be ready in 7 seconds. Marine Marauder pushing on forward. Clem does not need to seal the deal. If he can just stop Maxpax from probing, that'd be good. Maxpax, though, doesn't bite. Maxpax keeps probing here. Look at his army. 3 Zealots and 8 Wounded Stalkers. He needs the Storms to end all storms. Already loses a Stalker and a Zealot. And, oh, that's a good one. Does clip the Marines pretty heftily. But great spread back on most of the units. Leaves a few Marauders. They eat the Storm. They don't really care too much about it. And good micro there to set off that Widow Mine. Good defense for Maxpax, but he's got to continue to grow. Now, he's going to make a Forge here. He does have a Zealot on each base to see, hey, are you expanding? Just how far behind am I in this game? He's chronoing his gateways to try and get more units out. This is where I kind of want to see Maxpax go a little bit wild. And what do I mean by that, guys? I'd like to see him go for a Storm drop on the natural. I'd like to see him fly through the upper middle of the map over here and Storm drop this middle line. It sounds stupid, I know. I really feel like, though, he's got to do a bit of a gamble to get back in this game because he's just down overall. A Storm army, I mean, he can do it for sure. It's just like I've seen Clem dodge Storms, and now that he knows Storm's a possibility, it's going to be hard for you. It looks like Maxpax is going to try and hit the third when he moves out. That's a good idea, actually. I do like that move. No armory, so there's just a regular normie Widow Mine drop coming in. Maxpax, is he watching? Uh-oh, does not have a lot of time to react. Boom Boom's coming on in, but great spready. Good reactions there by Maxpax, who's going to run forward, catch the command center. The Stalkers and the Archons, I don't think they can kill that in time, though. If he could kill that in time, that would be huge, because if he can force Clem to attack into him, that's where Storms are going to be massive. But Clem pulls up his ramp. A Widow Mine! Devastating it on the Stalkers. Watch out for the Storms. Oh, okay. No, he's not quite getting them, though. He gets some decent ones, but the Prism goes down. I think he's got one more Storm, but he only gets a single Marine and Marauder. That was not the Storm that he needed. He's got, wait, one more Storm's about to tick over. If he gets the SCVs, this could do the damage. The Archons are killing a lot of SCVs. One Storm on the SCVs could change everything. He hits the Marauder Viking. That is not the Storm that he needed. He was not going to be killing Clem with this. He needed one big Storm on the SCVs. Maybe, just maybe, Clem wouldn't have spread them quick enough and he could have done the damage. The Raven comes back and with a Righteous Fury says, taste my auto turret, you dirty piece of shit. Shield Battery Overcharge says, I don't even care, bro. But Maxpax a little slow to pull on the natural, and that's where the damage can be found. 11 kills in total on that Raven. 3 more probes going down there, as well as a bunch of mining time being lost in the main. Check it out, main is half mined out. Natural, full, third, full. He desperately needs a 4th mineral line just to keep his income up. Whereas Clem, he's lost a lot of workers, but is his income that different? No, it is not, because there's no 4th base. When you're in this scenario, Protoss vs Terran, that worker difference only means a lot when you're at the 11-minute mark if you've got a 4th base. Because guess what, guys? Even his natural is going to start losing mineral patches. He's already only got 7. This one's about to run out. That one's about to run out. He's going to be super oversaturated. He's already oversaturated. 10, 15 of these probes are going to be worthless in the next minute. And that means Clem actually has the better economy despite the worker count. So this is actually a very bad situation for Maxpax. If he can't get a 4th base up, it just means he's more and more all in. And it looks like his choice here is, I'm just going to hammer you with Storms and Zealots. But he's got only 10 Zealots, 10 Stalkers. This is not a big army. And look at the Viking Ghost out there. That's very frightening. Auto turret comes in again. Another 3 probes goes down. Stalkers, too many of those going down on the front line. And these Vikings, remember, 1 EMP, 4 Viking shots, dead Warp Prism. This is so dangerous. Yeah, he's got to drop there. Now notice, he drops, instantly picks up before the EMPs can land on the High Templar as well. Very nicely done. 4th command center goes down for Clem. Only a matter of time until he drops the 2nd engineering bay and an armory. He realizes, hey, wait a second, you don't even have much economy right now. I don't need to do that much. He keeps changing targets with the Widow Mine. Maxpax was trying to bait that out for about a minute. Ooh. Does he get a Storm? Yeah, good Storm. Real good Storm. Great pickup and evades the Viking Ghost once again. does not want to deal with that getting snapped the way it did on 2000 Atmospheres by the Ghost Click. Great rally, though. The rally is going to deal with these Zealots easily. These Zealots are not going to get nearly what they need. Remember, Maxpax needs to trade efficiently. He's trading very poorly. And he's still, every second that goes by without a fourth base, he's falling further and further behind in the income. You can see Clem, every time he drops a mule, he gets a big boost in his income ahead of Maxpax. Now, auto turrets do come on in. Once again, gets another probe, bit of mining time. Fourth Nexus goes down on the gold, but I think this was not plan B, not plan C. This is plan D for Maxpax, is go to the next step in the game. He doesn't want to be going here. Clem, on the other hand, he's got the second eBay, he's got the armory, he's got a very multi-purpose army. Widow Mines are so good versus High Templar, so good versus Zealots, because you just keep them spread out, and they're hard to deal with this army. There's not many observers or anything. You got Vikings that snap the Prism. They also deal with the Colossus. EMP is amazing versus everything. And Stem Bio beats Zealot Stalker. Archon's going to try to come in, and guess what? EMP thinks about your Archons. They think that is pathetic, mate. That ain't going to do nothing. Notice he doesn't even pop the EMPs because Maxpax preemptively dropped the overcharge, hoping that as Clem EMP'd, he could instantly heal it back up on the Archons. But Clem, way too patient for that. Waits for it to run out and watch these EMPs land. Storm comes forward. EMP misses. The Prism does manage to dodge that. Another auto turret comes in from behind. Clem's got him pinned. Clem does not feel any urgency right now. He's got him pinned back. He's just looking for the fight that he wants. EMP's landing on the Stalkers. The Archon's still looking very tanky. Nice dodges still. And EMP lands on the Prism. It's down to 80 hit points. Remember, it's still very vulnerable, but Maxpax doing a great job of dropping. That storm could have been deeper. If that storm was deeper, that could have done a lot more damage. He needs the storms to end all storms. We need some moment where he plants his staff in the ground, says, "You shall not pass," and he needs to call down a fucking level 3000 psionic chain lightning storm of fucking doom and destruction. Another EMP lands. Nice micro on the Prism. He's trying to hunt this army down. Clem does leave a few ghosts and marauders behind. But once again, we're looking at a 4-base, fully saturated Terran. He's got 1/1 upgrades versus just +1. He's got ghosts. He's got enhanced shockwaves on the way. He's still got Widow Mines that are a struggle to clean up. The auto turrets are still here. The Raven on 17 kills being an absolute pain in the ass. Oh my god. That Raven has just been a thorn in Maxpax's side in this game. EMP's landing. Archon's going down. And this is not a fantastic army. Those 3 High Templar in the Prism. Similar to 2000 Atmospheres, the last line of defense standing in the way of Clem's victory. Clem's going to kill that gold Nexus from behind. Once again, Maxpax doing some great micro over here to bait out Widow Mine shots, but he doesn't even have a detector to deal with them once they've fired. And guys, this guy here is Mr. Dickhead. Captain Descartes is driving that Raven right now. And yeah, basically he's like, Commander Worf, auto turret, engage. And yeah, that's essentially it, man. That guy's just constantly been doing these prongs. Remember, the first Stalker attack just did not do very well. I really think he should have picked off this starport, or at least forced it to lift off, cancel the add-on and that sort of thing. And he's going to look for a fight here, see if he can jump on this army. Clem, a bit too quick at reacting, does manage to evade, and a lot of reinforcements coming down here. Can you chase into that as Maxpax? The answer is no. Stalkers pick off a Viking, but he loses a couple Stalkers for it. And Clem, he's on the warpath. He's maxed out. He's looking for it. That Prism, it needs the storms. Quick storm there. Doesn't get the money shot. Does pick up and save the units, though. He's got more where that came from. Battery overcharge used preemptively here. Maxpax realizes how much trouble he's in. He's just trying to heal up the preemptive EMPs. Trying to drop the Nexus over there. Widow Mines are still on that gold. He's trying to long distance mine the top left base as well. Still stuck on 3 bases at 16 minutes. Maxpax economy, it's drying up. We see Clem, a solid 1,000 resources a minute ahead. Here we go. He's pushing in. The Water Prism needs 6 storms. He gets 2 High Templar, 3 High Templar out, and he storms the ground. The last 2 storms land, but the previous ones were whiffed. Maxpax a little bit panicked there and throwing those storms a little bit far forward. And that is how it goes. Very well played, dude. GG, Maxpax taking Clem down to the wire. But in the end, Clem, too solid, too good. He does survive. And the 4-gate blink that got him such an easy one in game 1 for Maxpax just shut down in the final game. Very well played.